Welcome to Intuitive Art Sales. This is the show where I, Jessica Craddock, am going to teach you how to source your art marketing from within. You're going to practice claiming that authentic art business that you want and leading into the most natural way for you to get there. You're going to learn to get connected to your intuition, your confidence, and your community so that you can sell your art consistently while holding strong boundaries on your work-life balance. Welcome to mini episode 3, where we're going to talk about what to do if you feel like you need to have affordable prices, but it's killing your business because you don't have enough money coming in. You have probably heard me talk a lot about working bigger, increasing prices, expanding, all these good things that all of us wish for. Here's the deal. There are plenty of reasons why someone is not just going to say, all of my paintings are $5,000 and that's the way it is now. It could be that you care about people and you sincerely desire to bring more art to the world. Or it could be that you're not sure that you can do it. Your marketing and sales skills, you've been working on them and they've been improving, but you don't feel like you're there yet. What if you bust? Or maybe you really love having that impulse buy purchase price point, and not having it, taking that away, feels terrifying to you. What if you never make any more money? What if no one ever buys from you again? That fear isn't something that you feel like you can overcome right now, so you want to have those. My guess is you're probably affected by at least one of these, if not all of them. And if that's the case, never fear. Having affordable art can be a solid part of your strategy. And depending on where you're at, I'm going to use the terms affordable. I'm going to use the term lowest price. I'll use a couple of terms interchangeably in here, but I'm talking about affordable for you, low price for you, and not like bottom of the barrel lowest pricing, but something that you can sell, you can wrap your head around. That might be $20. That might be $500, depending on where you're at in your art selling journey. And here's the good news. There is something to be said about having those affordable prices inside of your strategy. So along with all this growth and expansion and price raising that I love, and I love to talk about so much, there are still reasons why you might likely want to have some of that more affordable stuff inside of your strategy. So in this mini episode, I'm going to show you 3 ways to ensure that you can incorporate, that affordable art into your business and still ensure that you have enough room, enough capacity to bring in enough money to hit your goals. All right, strategy number 1. I teach inside of my program, Consistent Income. I teach something different than most art selling marketing coaches teach. I don't teach by the square inch. And I know that a lot of people really love that model, and I'm not saying you can't use it. But I love 3-tier pricing, meaning having a showcase kind of piece with pricing to match, a middle that is something that brings in a significant income, but isn't such a stretch to sell. And then a small, quote unquote, affordable, low price, remember that could be 20, that could be 500, piece that is your soothe for when you're afraid of taking out those pieces. It's your something for everyone price. It's your testing price. It's the thing that helps you figure out what people want to buy the most so that you can expand your pricing from there. And I'm not going to get into details here, but I do have a blog post called How to Price Your Artwork and Creative Services to Feel Amazing. I'll link it in the show notes. So all that being said, you're not going to promote that lowest price point all the time. That doesn't make any sense because then that would be all that people would buy. But you still don't want to take it out. So what we're going to do is every 3 to 4 months, we're going to make that the thing that we promote. And the rest of the time, you promote your middle and high prices. that ensures that you've got a good balance of being able to sell at all the levels. And that doesn't mean that you have to have a launch every single month. That would be horrible. But what it does mean is that that's the thing that you focus on in both your conversations with people and your content. All right, strategy number 2, we're going to switch how you think about low prices. Usually when people first come into my program and I tell them have a lower price point, they immediately go to either a print or their smallest size, which makes sense. Totally obvious answer, but that's not necessarily serving you. So instead, let's think about high profit margin. Prints are something that it's probably going to cost you half of the price of the print plus shipping. It's not really, unless you're over the $100,000 mark. I'm going to use that as a general rule of thumb. That's not 100%, but generally, the print is not your best choice for your lowest price option. And with small sizes, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're spending less time on it than you are on, say, a medium or even maybe a large piece. Smaller doesn't equal anything other than less price per canvas. So both of those options are leading to the lowest price also being the lowest profit margin, meaning once you take the expenses out, you make the least money per piece, and you still have to promote them. So let's not do that. Let's figure out a way to make a higher profit margin for those low pieces. And it could be as simple as paper versus canvas. Or if you're creating all of these masterpieces, maybe you make studies of them where you set a timer and you've got 1 hour ready, boom, that's your lowest price point. So think time and think money that you have to invest into it and what are you gonna get out of it in the end. Strategy number 3, practice private downselling. So if you get an inquiry on a high price piece and you come to the point in this conversation where you find out they just really can't afford it, it's out of their price range. And that's not you projecting what you think people can pay for it, that's them actually not being able to pay for it. At that point in the conversation, ask if they'd be interested in a compromise. How can they still get what they want? And how can you still get what you want? So look at that piece that they're interested in and see, how can I use strategy number 2 to come up with something that is a higher profit margin for me, but isn't going to take a lot of time, but they can still get at a price that is in their price range. This strategy is going to help make sure that you lose fewer of those sales, but aren't always spending the time promoting this thing that you aren't making that much money off of. If you love these mini strategies, you're going to love my big picture view on how to create consistent income. I've got another free workshop coming up on November 16th called the Sanity Roadmap for Selling More Art. I'm going to share 27 of my secrets to create a solid plan, build confidence, and connect with buyers. Honestly, if I were you, I wouldn't miss it. You can sign up in the link in the show notes. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you haven't yet, be sure to hit subscribe so that you can get new episodes loaded straight onto your phone as soon as they're ready. And if you have a couple extra seconds in your day, would you take the time to rate this show with how many stars you think it deserves? I would be ever so grateful. See you next time.